Hello, Las Vegas, and welcome to Chris Garcia, the Conservative American. And it's another great day to be American Day. God bless us. And I have a special guest on today. It's my good friend, Dan Mcfeters. He is a potter. He's a good friend of mine. He's a veteran. And we're going to talk about a bunch of different issues today. Dan, how are you feeling today?
I'm sick. I'm suffering from a cold, but glad to be here and want to be here and
Excellent.
talk to you about whatever you want to talk about.
Excellent. Well, I tell you what, we'll get to the pottery later. As you can see, this is Dan hand makes pottery. He's a wonderful potter. He's actually going to be teaching my wife, the producer, Cian, how to make pots and stuff like that. But I'd like to dive into the VA, Dan. Let's talk about that first.
Right into the VA, okay. I am having an issue with the VA, but we need to go back in history a bit about my situation as a veteran and self-employed potter in Wisconsin years ago. In trying to make business and do business, all of a sudden had a problem because I discovered I was diabetic because I got into an infection in my toe.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that I had VA benefits at the time, and so I had to come up with $13,000 to get my toe amputated because it got into the bones. So diabetics, if you have don't tough it out, anything like that. But that's how I found out I was diabetic. And then turns out that I was going to have another problem, a different toe. Couldn't come up with another $13,000 to get through that again. And they said, I'll go to this clinic in Wisconsin, and was told that they couldn't help me because I wasn't in the vicinity that I needed to be in to talk to them. But the nurse practitioner I was talking to said, but why don't you go to the VA? You should be going to the VA. And I had a girlfriend who told me never go to the VA. They're terrible. She worked there. And he said, well, I happen to work at the VA. And he was... turns out the old VA in Wisconsin was a problem. The new VA in Wisconsin saved my life, actually. So I have good things to say about the VA. Ultimately, in that I got it, they got me into the system and was able to deal with my diabetic problems. But in the meantime, got behind and paid my state income taxes. That got worse and worse, and then when they had an amnesty program that said, well, give us $200 and we'll get you back on the tax rolls and everything will be good. That's good, but then I sent them my $200 and a couple of weeks later they said it was declined because they wanted all the paperwork in 2 weeks. That just wasn't going to happen. And they just kept me on a perpetual I'm in trouble mode. And the state of Wisconsin, it was just unbelievable as far as how they made it and have now made it impossible for me to pay taxes that I want to pay. I am a tax-paying American, but I know the value of why you have to pay taxes. But there was no way. And I'm trying to do that, did a couple of business moves that didn't work out to generate money. So, and I'm not the kind of guy that's going to go rob banks to pay the tax bill. Right. And that's basically the way the system is working. To the extent that now the state of Wisconsin, on a very minimal pottery type person income, has compounded my Wisconsin state taxes. I'm embarrassed to say how much. It's about $280,000, they say. I don't know. And that ain't going to happen. And I'm 67 and can't get a job, and they made it such that they ruined my credit and can't get a job for a lot of money. to pay them back. It just made it totally impossible. When I was going to pay them, had money to start filing taxes. This is a bunch of years ago before it escalated into this ridiculous amount. They garnished my checking account and had done that for every month for several years. So that I couldn't make money to pay my taxes. Yeah. So I guess, and it's, I guess ultimately my fault that I couldn't do it, but I don't know how I could undo it. And so I guess long story short, there are things that have happened. They doubled they charged me like $130,000 for state sales taxes, but I specialize in selling pottery supplies to school systems. I didn't sell retail, so there's no sales tax to pay, but they don't care. And now I have to pay it no matter what. So I sent a letter to the governor saying, here's my problem. And then I get a letter from the Department of Revenue saying, well, okay, just pay the $280,000 and it'll be okay. And that's their response to trying to problem solve. So I should
just
be
pay the $280,000. Wow, thank you. No problem. Check you out of Monday.
I can take a check. Yeah, exactly. So
wow.
So then it's just background. That's incidental to my problem at this point. And found myself homeless as a result of that, and had to leave Wisconsin in November of what was it, 13, I believe it was. So I wouldn't freeze to death because I was literally going to freeze to death. So, but prior to that, the VA is not listening to me either, and their means testing, where I tell them how much I'm making, is discounted because the state of Wisconsin is telling them I'm making, $50,000 a year, and I couldn't make, $10,000 a year. So that's some wrong stuff going on there as far as the state of Wisconsin is going on. And then the VA runs up a $10,000 bill for my medical care that I didn't worry about because I was a copay. I wasn't making, there should be no copay.
What branch were you a veteran?
I was in the Air Force.
Air Force.
Yeah.
Wonderful. God, thank you for your service, man.
Absolutely. So then when we came out here, the VA here, basically the same thing. I told them, there's zero income at that point of being here, and then they don't care, they say I'm making $50,000. How can they do that? I'm not even in the state of Wisconsin.
Right.
So then, being homeless here, I stay at U.S. Vets, which I'd love to talk about as being a fantastic door opening for veterans that are in trouble. And I had kind of lost my way, and are you familiar with U.S. Vets?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
tell us about it then.
Yeah, let me walk my throat.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a national organization where they take in homeless veterans, give them housing, rehabilitate them, and try to, and it's basically a dorm style of living, kind of military actually, and there are people there with, of all backgrounds. So you get the people that have lost their way with drugs and everything else, but there's a zero tolerance there too. So it's like, and then the programs to teach you how to be a contributing member. And so they saved my life. And I was there for about a year. And they got, and now I'm getting to your question, to be honest with you, that they gave me, well, first of all, they got me Social Security. So
wonderful.
God bless them for that. But then,
Dan's a little under the weather, so bear with us.
bear with me, please. Sorry. And then the VA gave me a pension to bring me up to the poverty level, which I think is great. And again, God bless the VA for that. That they gave me this pension, and I could survive on that too. Okay, which I received for about 4 months, and I get a letter from them saying we're giving all this money to the state of Wisconsin to pay off your income taxes. So they're garnishing my VA pension for the next 50 plus years. I'll start collecting it though in 50 years. And so all of a sudden, I got housing as a result of that I could afford. And now my income pays for my housing, and I have about $25 a month for living. Imagine that.
Oh my goodness.
Because they're giving it to the state of Wisconsin. As I try to find out what to do about it, the VA is clueless. They're not even they're not telling me if that pension is going to the state of Wisconsin or to the VA in Wisconsin, and the VA in Nevada. Actually, it looks like now the VA in Nevada is listening to me at least that my income is what I'm telling it is, but nobody wants to tell me. I have no paperwork other than the initial things, but I don't get a monthly receipt saying, here, thank you for your pension of I think it was $450. That with $450, I could be a poor person in Nevada without a way to, depending on robbing banks or anything else. But I now can understand why people rob banks and other people, because and of course I know that's not me and that's not going to happen. But through the blessings of friends and family helping me as best as they can, but I should be self-sufficient at a poverty level.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Right.
But the VA doesn't seem to care at all. So they're basically, in reality, I should be homeless again. If I were homeless, then on my excuse me, on my Social Security, I could actually live but be homeless. I'm choosing to be homed, not homeless, and just live a subsistence living, which sucks, quite honestly, because I am a person that contributes to society and still have brains and everything else.
So what is you're talking to the Nevada VA now about the situation? What are they doing?
Well, their response is to send me the application for I can't remember what it's called, to have a dispensation, but then I have to pay that, and it's just, which I've had already done. I sent them a letter saying I can't afford the $50 a month you're charging me on the bill that I ran up here. Had I known I was running up these bills, maybe it's best that I didn't, because I probably I'd be dead years ago. So part of me has great things to say about the VA, but the VA is trying to kill me. It's as basic as that. They don't seem to care. And when I'm paying for state sales taxes that I never had to charge, and so they doubled what I owed them because of that. And what they have charged now, I can't undo legally. They tell me, the state tells me that I owe that regardless now, because I haven't fallen into their time period of solving that. So I'm screwed. If that's for me, I'm here.
See, I would like to get this. You're listening to Chris Garcia, The Conservative American. And once again, we are streaming live on Radio Tribune here in the beautiful Las Vegas downtown area. And we are, you can Google us later. We're going to be up on YouTube later on this evening. I'm sitting here with a patriot, with a veteran, my good friend Dan Mcfeters, and we are talking about the VA. We're going to get into his pottery a little bit later. He is a wonderful potter. And if you come by Mail by Renee, which is on 716 South 10th Street, that's in downtown Las Vegas, right off the corner of 10th and Charleston. We proudly display some of Dan's pottery. He's got one sold right now already. He just put them in a couple of days ago in our mailbox. That's Mail by Renee, 716 South 10th Street, right off the corner of 10th and Charleston. And the number there is 702-626-0716. Once again, that's 702-626-0716. Mail by Renee. For $10 a month, you can come in and you can see CN, and she will get you started. And Dan patents our business. He has a mailbox down there. You can have your ID sent there. You can have anything sent there. We sign the UPS, FedEx. We can get you medicine, whatever it is that you need. Come see Mail by Renee, 716 South 10th Street. And Dan displays his pottery. We're going to get into that a little bit later down there. He has beautiful piggy banks that he has handmade himself. And the prices are reasonable. They range between $15 and $25, depending on the size. And you can come down there and support our local potters and our local artists. That's what we're going to be doing in our facility down there on 716 South 10th Street. These are the kind of veterans. These are the kind of patriots in America. He served us. Let's serve him. He served our country in the Air Force, and he is going through it right now with the VA, as so many veterans are right now. But we wonderfully display, and you can see right there, this is one of his pieces of art in front of us, and they range between $15 and $25 if you'd like to come down to Mail by Renee, 716 South 10th Street, and support our local veterans and our local potters and our local artists. Dan, what do you think some of the changes that need to be made to the VA, and what do you hope that our President-elect Donald Trump is going to do to improve the VA system?
Well, part of my problem is that there's no chain of command that I can talk to the right person. I approached the well, first of all, I approached the Wisconsin congressman about this problem, and he said that he only handles federal problems, and the Department of Revenue is not federal, so he wasn't interested in helping. Like the VA isn't a federal thing, come on. I'm not trying to get help with Wisconsin. I pretty much told through the help at the VA, or at U.S. Vets, which is a great charity, by the way, and it's a tax deductible thing. And if you find out about U.S. Vets, to take care of veterans that have really lost their way,
yes,
please help them with donations for of clothing and bedding and things for people that are in trouble right now, for veterans.
How can they donate things? And is there a place where they would send it or drop it off?
Call U.S. Vets. Their location is on Bonanza and Las Vegas Boulevard.
Excellent.
And you can either just walk in with donations, or if they have a referral situation that will, if you know a veteran that needs help, that will get you there as well.
Yes.
So anyway, I approached the Congressman Hardy here, who I spent all kinds of time trying to convince to help me, and they didn't feel they could help me either. But there needs to be some sort of legislation that they can't take my VA pension.
Yes.
They can't take my Social Security, but they can take my pension that was designed to bring me to a poverty level.
That's that, yeah.
And so I think that's just wrong that they're going to do that. They're going to have to cough.
Right. These are the kind of issues. This is why I began to do this show, Chris Garcia, The Conservative American, because you know, the reason that Donald Trump won this election and people forgot is because of the forgotten man, the forgotten woman like my friend Dan Mcfeters. We have veterans out here that are homeless, and that's a shame. You know, they go to war, they go to overseas, and they fight for our freedom. So we can get up every day and live in the American dream that we do. And because of Dan Mcfeters serving our country, I'm able to sit here and do a radio show. He's the real hero. He's the man that went out and put his life on the line for all of us. And those are the people that were forgotten. They call it flyover country, you know, the Midwest and the coal mines. And those are the people that had enough of what was going on in our system and went out and voted for Donald Trump in record numbers. And I hope that, you know, veterans is very important to him. And I hope that he's just not giving us lip service, that he actually does things to change, because we shouldn't have veterans that are just happy to just be living at the poverty level. That is a shame. That's ridiculous. And I'm going to do everything that I can. This is not the last time we're going to have a show like this. I'm going to have Dan on. We have other veterans that are coming on. We're going to have roundtables about this. And we're going to push this, and we're going to ask our politicians to make new legislation that this should never happen, that a veteran that served our country should have his pension taken from him. That is absolutely ridiculous, and we're going to change that. Go ahead, Dan.
There are veterans that, because of their situation, while at U.S. Vets, I saw so much PTSD and stuff like that, that I was lucky not to have a problem with. Some other time we can talk about my Air Force job that gave me insights that maybe a lot of people wouldn't be getting. But veterans that can't get work no matter what. In my case, I can't get work no matter what, and I'm able to work, want to work. I want to be a potter. I would love in Las Vegas to be a potter. Now, you can't really make a lot of money being a potter. That's something to be very aware of. The money I did make in Wisconsin was selling clay supplies to school systems. So I sold kilns and potter's wheels.
Yes.
I also did a lot of different things. One thing that I would like to do here in Nevada is kind of interesting. I do a program called the Bethlehem Potter, where I get in a 2,000 years ago Bethlehem garb and make pots on an old-fashioned kick wheel and talk, depending on what the church or program would require, give some good Christian philosophy that would make people better people.
Excellent.
And tried to, we even sent out a mailing in Nevada and didn't get one response, which is beyond me. And I'm wondering if it's because of the business situation, if I needed to have a business license. But I am not sure I could get a business license because of Wisconsin.
Wow.
And I still have to pursue that kind of thing to see if they will let me be a Bethlehem Potter here, because the program is fantastic and very inspiring. And during church services, as the sermon will make pots right on the pulpit and change some lives.
I think that's the kind of, I'm from Illinois, you're from Wisconsin, Dan, and I think that I've seen Nevada and Las Vegas in particular, they are beginning to be interested more in the arts than when I moved here 26 years ago. That's the direction that it's going, and we're going to help speed that up. But that's a good direction. I think the children need to be involved in the arts and music and things like that. So Las Vegas is headed in the right direction. First Friday down here at the first of the month displays a lot of new artists. But this is something that we're going to do. And I know you've been talking to my wife, who loves art and loves creating things with her hands. I think that that's a missing art that's going on in our country. Our children are just playing video games and they've forgotten about the arts. And so what we're going to try and do, hopefully coming up pretty soon, is besides you displaying your art and Mel by Renee, maybe even we can offer some pottery classes down there on the weekend or something like that, so we can have parents bring their children, or if they want to get involved themselves. I know you got a potter's wheel down there, but even if it's just elementary classes for them to get their hands in the clay and stuff like that, we would love that.
For what it's worth, I have taught at the Milwaukee Art Museum for 15 years.
Wow.
And more than just a double pottery, I guess is what I'd say. And have learned to diversify. I fix kilns in schools. Most schools nowadays have kilns, but it's a hard nut to crack to get into to deal with. Yes. But there's got to be a way that I, in my situation, can find a way to have some income. Yes. And I'm trying hard to have some income. But
the thing about me, Dan, is I'm a capitalist, and I love doing things for good people. If you all don't know, this is one of the nicest guys that I've ever met in my life. Him and my wife are very good friends, and they both share a lot of the same things. I'm more of a business person myself. Me and his son, actually, we have a lot in common. But besides being a capitalist, I like doing good things for good people. And we're going to have Dan on repeatedly on this show. He's going to talk about the situation. We're going to allow him to educate us all on what's going on with the Veterans Administration. But at the same time, Dan is going to talk about his pottery. We're going to display his pottery at Mill by Renee, 716 South 10th Street, right off the corner of 10th and Charleston. If you want to support your local artists, your local potters, here is a veteran right here. He is wonderful. His art is beautiful, handmade. Me and my wife, we're going to team up. We're going to do some work together. But between $15 to $25, you can come in and get a signed piece of art from Dan Mcfeters. And I'm telling you, this is going to be worth a lot of money one day. Dan, why don't you tell us about, how you create some of this stuff, how you create some of this art?
Everything is done on the potter's wheel. Well, most everything is done on the potter's wheel. This piece actually was not done on the potter's wheel. It was made with slab construction and done a little differently. But most of my work is on the potter's wheel. The work that I actually do that hopefully will make me rich and famous someday, I like to do 3 or 4 foot tall bottles. Oh, wow. And I put faces and hands on them. Wow. And so there's more of a artistic flair that I think might go better here in Las Vegas than it did in Milwaukee, whereas the fish did very well in Milwaukee. So quite a difference in that culture. But speaking of the difference in schools, I have done a lot of in-school teaching of ceramics, and I've gone into schools that haven't had an art program and a kiln or anything else, and worked with those kids that have no concept of art, and as a result, their mathematics skills are terrible. Absolutely. And so art and math and science, they're all related. Yes. Wow, unbelievable. We're so blessed today to have Dan Mcfeters on. He's a good friend of mine, and once again, we are going to display his art in Mill by Renee. Come on down and get a piece of hand-signed art by Dan Mcfeters, 716 South 10th Street, Mill by Renee. And while you're there, why not see CN and get a mailbox for $10 a month? You can have your ID sent there. We sign for UPS, FedEx. Dan himself is a patron of our business, and he can tell you it's secure. CN calls you as soon as your mail comes in. The post office doesn't do that. You can come after hours when you get off work and get your mail as well. If you'd like to call in, once again, it's 702-983-0711. I am Chris Garcia, the Conservative American. I'm with you. We're doing a little special show with him today. We're usually 1 to 1:30 Pacific time. I stream live on radiotribune.com. And we are also up. Check out my Facebook, Chris Garcia, the Conservative American, and also you can Google us. And we're up on YouTube, all of our shows every evening after 5 o'clock, and you can watch us. Our subscribers are growing. Subscribe to our show. And once again, if you'd like to get in contact with us, you can call me directly, 702-265-3974. Tell me what you think about the show. Tell me what you think about Dan's artwork. If you'd like to get in contact with us and purchase some of his art, we would love that. Support our local veterans. This man is a patriot, and I can tell you he is a good man. I've known Dan for a while now. Him and his son are wonderful people, and it's a shame what's going on. Dan, I'd like you to have the last word before we go on. Quickly, I wanted to say that the reason why I came here and had my mail sent here is because the mailman half the time was sending back mail that was sent and addressed to me and sending it back as undeliverable. And amazing stuff. But so I decided I'm not going to have it sent to the trailer park that I currently live in. I'd like to get out of that trailer park. It's not a good situation, but it's livable.
Right.
I could at least survive. And right now, I'm in survival mode.
Right. We're gonna try and do what we can to support you, support your art, and we have politicians on here all the time. We have the county commissioner on, we have the DA on, we have people all over the time, and we are going to talk about that. And I'm going to have you on with them, and we're going to talk about getting legislation to change what is going on. It is a shame. I'm going to be here with you, not just through the Trump administration, but after that. And we're going to listen. I'm a conservative American, and I'm about America first. And that means putting our people first. It's wonderful we do work all over the world, and we always talk about other countries. But what about our people? This is our patriots. These are our soldiers. These are people that have laid down their life, their time, and away from their family so that we can reap the benefits of living in the greatest country on earth. Thank you so much for watching. This is my friend, Dan Mcfeters. Support his art. Handmade, signed Dan Mcfeters artwork. Once again, come on down to 716 South 10th Street. Support your veterans. Support Dan Mcfeters. He's a great American. God bless America. God bless our troops all over the world. Godspeed to our President-elect, Donald Trump. Thank you, Dan, so much.